Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Matovu ho'alecha Yaakov. How wonderful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. We are going to begin, and Matthew and Rabbi Kahn will be out in just a couple of moments. But let's sing together, creating the space on page 192, and we invite you all to sing along. Ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, vani perov chastecha, ahavo veitecha, Eshtacha ve'lechal kodshecha ve'hiratecha. Let's join together. Ma tovu, ma tovu, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, Adonai ahavti, me'on beitecha, u'mekom mishkan kevotecha, mishkan kevotecha, ma tovu, ma tovu, ma tovu, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Note to self, don't leave your jacket in the car. I was looking for it. It was in the car. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so nice to be together, and
wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbat, a wonderful weekend. For our bar mitzvah especially, who is made famous from his incredible interpretation of the Purim story, he's here now. Yes, you're already famous, my friend. So Matthew will become bar mitzvah today, and he's here with his family. This is a multi-generational B'nai Mitzvah family. So you may notice later on in the service that our Torah scroll has a very special cover on it. It's a cover from days of yore, days from the past, times when his very old father became but he looks oh so good, became bar mitzvah, except this year we didn't have to get it at the 11th hour and 59th minute out of the glass case that we almost killed ourselves getting. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, in order to begin our festivities this morning, our bar mitzvah is going to be placing on his talit, and so it's great to call his grandparents to the bima. And would just remind everybody that during services we keep our masks on unless you are behind the plexiglass, as our bar mitzvah is right now. So please make sure it's covering both your nose and your mouth, even if you've been vaccinated, hopefully only for a couple more weeks. So Nancy and Judy and Alan, they're here. Say the blessing first. Cantor will help you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitetev b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Give your grandparents hugs and kisses.
And for everyone at home who's watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live, especially on YouTube, if you go in the description below, you'll see a link to Mishkan Tefillah, our prayer book. We'll be announcing 2 sets of page numbers, just to make sure that you get it for sure. But please feel free to click on that link, and that way you can follow along with our service. Our bar mitzvah is going to begin on page 198 with Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings we recite each morning, whether you're at home or you're here in person. Please make sure to participate.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasavivina lefchafim ben yom uven laila, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokei achirim, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim, who frees the captive.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin mitzad gaver, who strengthens our steps.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arimim, who clothes the naked.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten la'ya'ef koach, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavir shana me'enai utnuma me'af apai, who moves sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tselem Elohim, who made me in the image of God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani ben horin, who has made me free.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael, who has made me a Jew.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Ozer Yisrael bigvura, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael betifara, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen.
We continue now on page 218 or 100 with the singing of Hallelujah, Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's try that. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's all try that. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's time to clap our hands. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol haneshama, say hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol haneshama, say hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Everybody now. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Chatzi Kaddish 224 or 106.
יתקטל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברך חילותי והמליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון וחי לכל בית ישראל. בגאולה ובזמן קריב יאמרו.
Amen. Yesh merabah mevorach.
לעולם
Lam uleamei almaya. Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומה וינשא ויתהדר ויתהלב ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו Amen.
Let's all stand now for the Baruch Hu, 226 or 108.
Lai 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 lai
continue on the next page.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvorei choshech oseh shalom uvorei et hakol.
Meir la'aretz v'la'arim aleha barachamim uftivo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita ma'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha tibarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al ma'orei or she'asita yafa rucha selah.
Or chadash hatzion ta'ir v'nizkechu lanu mehera le'horo. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'meorot.
Continue responsively on 230 or 112. We'll join together with Matthew at the bottom of the page where it's indented.
How deeply you have loved us, Adonai our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us, by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvah. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring one love.
Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher ve'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Avaed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom malvavecha. Veshinatam levanecha vidivartam bam beshivtecha bevitecha uvletecha baderech ushokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot ayadecha vehayuletatafo beinenecha Uftavtam al mizobetecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem mekomitzvotai v'yatem kedoshim Elohim ani Adonai Elohim Asher no safety atem, Meretz Mitzrayim, Leot Lahem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohem,
Adonai Elohim Emet. We continue reading responsively at the bottom of page 239, the eternal truth.
The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Together,
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asks God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor
and upholds the rights
of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing. Micha Mocha 240 or 122. Please sing.
Yai lai 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 la 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 yai lai lai la lai la 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 ya lai 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 ya la 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 yai lai 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 ya la 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 la. Everybody clap your hands. This is a song of rejoicing. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, lo ratehi lo tosef ele, lo ratehi lo tosef ele. Shira chadasha, shira chadasha, shimechu geulim, לשמחה לשפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו, הודו והמריחו ואמרו יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 לי. Tzur Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufedeichenu mecha Yehuda be'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Amen. We're now at the central part of our morning service, the Amidah or Tefillah. So together, let's stand and turn to 242 or 124.
Keep forgetting. Adonai Sefer Tzavtita Ufia Gita Hilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak V'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rahel V'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Nahan Ra El Ayon Gomel Hasadim Tovim Ve'Koneh Hakol Ve'Zocher Zivivol Milaod U'Mevi Galag V'Nehem Lamar Shemo B'Havaha Melech Hoser Mashiach Makin Baruch atah Adonai Mageh Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Tagi Boy Le'Lam Adonai Mechaye Hakol Atzavor Shiloshia Morid Hatal Mechaye Chaim Behesed Mechael hakol berachamim ramim, so mech noflim ve'cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umakayem, Umamato, Lishane Afa, Michamo Chaba Giverot, Umidolelach, Melech Mamit, Umakayem, Yushashir Asuria. Hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai Mechae Hakol.
And we continue with the Kedushah on page 248. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וככה זה אל זה, ואמר, קדוש, קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיר ברחמיו לעיני כל החי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, hallelujah. We continue together at the bottom of the page. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול, כי אל מלך גדול, וקדוש אתה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל, האל, הקדוש. Amen. Yeah.
Please be seated. And let's enjoy this day of Shabbat even more with Yismechu. Clap, sing. 250 or 132.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת בקורי עוני שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת בקורי עוני שבת. מקדשי מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם יספרו, ויתנגל מטובך השבת, everyone ישמחו, במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת, ישמחו, במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת, והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת, חמדת ימים, ימים אותו קראת השבת, everyone ישמחו, במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת, ישמחו, במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית, זכר למעשה וראשית, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת.
Be not afraid of silence. It is more powerful than the awkward word. It allows God's voice to be heard. It allows the tears and the terror, the disbelief and the doubt to tumble out. Be there with quiet compassion that flows from the depths of your being, through your eyes, your touch, your sight, into your very soul. Stir not from the hush until you sense that hesitant blush of hope and of understanding. Be not afraid of silence. And so this will not be an awkward silence, but a moment for silent prayer, taking in the beautiful day of Shabbat, taking in this amazing weather we've been having in our surroundings and how wonderful it has been to be outside and begin to emerge out of the pandemic, and being in this very holy space, this historic synagogue that reminds us of where we've been and where we're going, especially today. So, in order to have silence, the rabbi needs to stop talking. Please take a few moments.
join together in a prayer for peace on page 258. Sing shalom, tova uvracha ba'olam, chen v'chesed ברחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך. ברכנו יוצרנו, ברכנו יוצרנו כולנו כאחד ביור פניך, כי ביור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו תורת חיים ואהבת חסד וצדקה וברכה ורחמים וחיים ושלום בטוב בעיניך, לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובחושה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Amen.
We're going to continue now with Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah. For those of you who are here or watching at home who've never been to a bar or bat mitzvah before, I just wanted to share that the Torah is the most important and sacred ritual item of Judaism. It contains the 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And we adorn it, we cover it with crowns, and as I said at the top of the service, in this case today, with a cover that has historic connection both to Congregation Beth Israel and to the Rush family. It is the cover that was covering the Torah that your dad used at his bar mitzvah, and of course that your brother used during his. And so when we read from Torah, it is an incredibly, I hope for you, spiritually uplifting experience. But for the Torah reader, or bar mitzvah, the first time today reading from Torah, it's really a transcendent experience to read these words that have been part and parcel of the story of the Jewish people for thousands of years. It's what binds us, again, in this past, present, and future moment. So we have the Seder Kriyat Torah, or I should say, rather, we begin the Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah, whether you are here or at home, on page 362 or 244 in your prayer books.
Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai, vein kemaasecha, malechutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai himloch leolam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein. Adonai yevarech et hamo v'shalom.
Please stand.
Av harachamim eitiv ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד פתחנו, מלך אלוהים ונישא אדון עולמי.
Top of 364.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
Well, normally, Matthew, we take this time to hand the Torah, Lador Vador, from generation to generation. But during this last 13, 14 months, we have simply thought about all of those on whose shoulders you stand, those who are with us here, those who are with us in spirit, all of the generations going back who were witnesses to the receiving of Torah at Mount Sinai until today. But we also think Lador Vador Vador about your grandparents and your parents and you, and a little bit we think about the future, your children and grandchildren to whom you will pass this Torah. It is the story of our people, our guide for daily life, our hope and faith in the future, but it can't be understood in the abstract. You said something wonderful yesterday, by the way, which was you studied. You felt like you really studied Torah for the first time in preparing for your Devar Torah, your speech that you're going to give later on. And I would encourage you that the best way to understand what it means to be Jewish, moreover, what it means to be a human being, is through studying Torah. Not just looking at it and touching it and honoring it, but really studying like you did these last few weeks. And so may that study lead you to a life of goodness and wisdom and, above all else, love and peace. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadol Adonai iti uneromema Shemo Yachtav Lecha Please feel free to blow kisses to the Torah.
Ve'agevura ve'hatiferet ve'hanetzach ve'hahod Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Lecha Adonai הממלכה והמנצח לכל ראש רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו לאל הר קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים העולם עומד על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים Shlosha, Shlosha Devarim Haolam, Haolam, Amen.
Which way? This way?
Yes.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Please be seated. So just a couple words before we hand things over to Matthew. Please, yeah, everyone's sitting good. At home, you can sit too. You can put your coffee down or take a sip. So before we hand things over to Matthew, I just wanted to point out that this week's Parsha is called Emor. It is filled with very important material. It has all of the instructions about the laws of purity, what we would call the purity test for the high priest, the Kohen, Aaron, and his sons, and the things that they are forbidden from doing. It's got the entire calendar of Jewish holidays, that is to say, holy days, because this is part of, as Matthew's going to relay to you later on, part of the holiness code. It contains the rule against blasphemy. It's got a little story about a guy who blasphemes God and defines for us what blasphemy is. It then has what is called lex talionis, which our bar mitzvah will really be focusing on today, the idea of eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, life for a life, how it is that we attribute punishments toward certain crimes, which opens up an entire Jewish study later on in the Talmud of what we would call torts, damages. That comes from this Torah portion. So a lot of Western civilization law comes from not just Leviticus and Torah, but specifically from this week's Parsha. It's a great Torah portion. So our bar mitzvah is going to be reading, if you have a home, if at home you have a copy of the Reform Movement's Torah commentary, please feel free to turn to page 819. If you just have a regular Bible at home and you'd like to follow along, we will be in Leviticus chapter 21, verse 1, and our bar mitzvah. Now we'll assume the Kahn, as it were, and begin with reading from Emor. We now call for the honor of our first aliyah, the first group to be called to bless the Torah. Nancy Stein, Judy, and Alan Rush, beloved grandparents of our bar mitzvah, who is using a yad, a pointer today, also gifted by them.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, and it's a beautiful yad. Aunt Ellie? Aunt Ellen provided the beautiful yad. They provided the talit. Thank you, Rhonda.
Go on the other side.
Yeah.
We're all set.
No, you guys are cool.
Thank you, Aunt Ellen.
Good job, baby.
Good luck.
Thank you.
On the count of three, showers. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch
Adonai
Adonai
Hamvorach Vayed.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bakaranu kol amin v'nata lanu Torato Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem moadeh Adonai asher tikreu otam mikra kodesh elehem moadai sheshet yamim te'aseh melacha uvayom hashavi Shabbaton mikra kodesh Chol melacha lo ta'asu Shabbat hi l'Adonai bechol Moshvatehem.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nata lanu Torah emet, ve'akan olam na bitukenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
We now call for the honor of the second Aliyah, Ellen Stein, Michelle Rush, Emily Rush, and Brandon Rush.
Yamdu Shehi.
Mom, your glasses are... Okay. Baruch Adonai HaMevarach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ele moadeh Adonai mikrae kodesh, asher tikreu otam bemoadam. Ba'chodesh harishon, be'arba asar, lachodesh ben harbaim, pesach ladonai. Uvachamisha asar yom lachodesh hazeh, Chag hamatzot ladonai, Shiva yamim matzot tohelu.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We now call for the honor of our third Aliyah, Rhonda and Jason, and Benjamin Rush, parents and brother of our bar mitzvah.
Yamod Avraham Tamod Rachel Yamod Binyamin Yamdu Shelishi.
Oh, you get the print. Oh.
And we can take off our mask.
They're special.
All right, Ben, you're leading, right?
Ben.
Yeah, sure.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Bayom harishon mikra kodesh yihye lahem kol melehet avodah lo ta'asu. Vehikravtem ishe ladonai shiva yamim bayom hashaviyi mikra kodesh kol melehet avodah lo ta'asu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We take a moment to think about those in our community, friends and family in need of our prayers for healing on the Shabbat. And of course, we are sending our thoughts and our strength and prayers to those in Israel who died and are in healing following Thursday's or Friday in Israel's Lag BaOmer celebration that turned into a real nightmare for many, many of our fellow Jews. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Matenu Saraf Garach v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirpeh et HaCholim If you'd like to type in the name of a loved one in the description below on Facebook or on YouTube, please feel free. If anyone here would like to say out loud the name of a loved one, now is the time to say their names. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill, the names that we have said aloud or have been placed online, and those who are in our hearts. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored, their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send all of them a complete renewal of body and spirit. Together we say, Amen. It is our distinct honor now to call for his bar mitzvah aliyah, the one, the only Matthew Rush.
Yamod, Yamod, Habachur Habar Mitzvah, Shlomo Abir, Ben Avraham, Ben Rachel, Chazak, Chazak, Veni
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu em Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vaidar Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el Bnei Yisrael ve'amorta alehem ki tavo'u el haaretz asher ani noten lahem uksartem et ketzira Vachavetem et omer reshit ketzihem el hakohen. Vehenif et haomer lifnei Adonai lirtzonehem mimachorat hashabbat yanifenu hakohen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayolam natan betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. We're going to take a moment now to lift and redress the Torah. So I'd like to ask everyone to please stand here and at home so we can lift the Torah.
Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Israel al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Torah, 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 ziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 ziva lanu Moshe. 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 Torah, 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 ziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 ziva lanu Moshe. Torah, ziva lanu Moshe. Torah, ziva lanu Moshe. Torah, ziva lanu Moshe. Torah, ziva lanu Moshe.
Please be seated. The Haftarah, the additional reading for this Shabbat, comes from Ezekiel. Ezekiel was a prophet who lived during what we call the Babylonian exile around the 6th century before the Common Era. And just like the passages from Torah, which mention all the different prohibitions and issues of purity for the Kohanim, for the priests. So too does the Haftorah. Ezekiel speak to the Israelites and teaches them and preaches to them about the priests and what it is that they are to do and not to do with regard to purity, but also, since they can't inherit land, the Haftorah states pretty explicitly that God will be their inheritance, which I think is a pretty good thing. So if you're following along at home, either page 847 in the Plout Commentary or in the book of Ezekiel, we are in chapter 44 and reading from verse 28 and following.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'dvim tovim ve'retzav v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'vinvinye ha'emet v'tzedek v'chayta lahem l'nachala ani nachalatam va'ahuzah lo titenu lahem be'Yisrael ani ahuzatam Hamincha ve'chachatat ve'asham hema yochlum ve'chol harem be'Yisrael lahem yihiyeh ve'reshit kol bekoreh hol ve'chol terumat hol Mikol terumotehem lakohanim yihiyeh vereshit aritzontehem titanu lakohen lechaniach beracha el beitecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol ha'alamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el haneman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek El HaTorah ve'al Havodah ve'al HaNevi'im ve'al Yom HaShabbat hazeh Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha ve'lminucha lechvod u'letifaret Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umevarchim otach, yitbarashim cha befi kol chai, tamid le'lam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Can we say Yasher Koach? That means great job, great job, job almost done, right? So now Matthew will deliver his Devar Torah for us, which is a teaching based on what he has learned from Parashat Emor. Where's your speech? All right, my man. Take off your mask.
Rabbi. Hi. Cantor.
Hi, starting.
Mike wasn't on.
Okay, try that again. and get that out of the way.
Yep.
All right, go for it.
Probably. Rabbi,
Hi.
Cantor,
Hi.
family, friends, and all those watching around the globe. If anyone kills any human being, that person shall be put to death. Now that is a page turner. I can't promise that my Devar Torah will be as exciting as the Torah portion itself, but I will do my best. The Torah portion for this Shabbat is called Amor, from the book of Leviticus, and takes place at the foot of Mount Sinai. It is broken up into two main parts: the evolution of 3 festivals of Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, and the idea of Lex Talionis. What is Lex Talionis? You're going to have to wait for this one. I promise, it is worth it. Although Amor discusses 3 festivals, I want to focus on one of them, Pesach, also known as Passover. As this portion states, Pesach begins on the evening of the 14th day of the first month of the year, and that for 7 days. The portion explains in perfect detail about how to celebrate each day. Pesach refers to the Passover sacrifice offered to God and recalls the time when God sent the angel of death who passes over the houses of the Israelites. During the final plague in Egypt, it is a reminder of how God saved their houses and their firstborn males and rescued them from slavery. Over the centuries, this Pesach meal has evolved into an elaborate meal with a special seder, which means order. We read from the Haggadah, which is a narration of the story of the Exodus of the Jews from Egypt. It is when we ask the 4 questions. For me, Seder is about bringing family and friends together. It is for bonding Jews to their history in a celebration of freedom. Passover will always have a special place in my heart. As long as I can remember, we always got together with family and friends to celebrate. Papa would always lead our Seder by reading from the Haggadah. My dad would always attempt to speed him up, while Grammy would want to make sure we did not skip anything. Everyone was always happy and singing Dainu, which seemed to go on forever. After dinner, Papa would hide the afikoman and give myself, Ben, Cousin Emily, and Cousin Brandon silver dollars no matter who found it. I do remember one year Ben having a complete meltdown when Brandon found it before him. My parents have told Ben and I stories from their seders when they were my age. I know this will be a special festival that will always be part of my life. The second part of my Torah portion is about the practice of Lex Talionis, also known as the law of retaliation. You might know this better as the verse states, an eye for an eye, life for a life, and tooth for a tooth. This literally means that any injury inflicted on a human being shall be inflicted in return. This part of the Leviticus is part of a larger section of Leviticus called the Holiness Code, as it is forbidden to harm another person regardless of what they have done to you. Professor Nahum Strana believed this retaliation payment was actually a momentary payment, not the literal life for a life. I guess this makes lawyers happy. The great medieval rabbi and philosopher Maimonides said that no compensation is complete. No wrong is forgiven until the person who inflicted the injury requests the victim's forgiveness, which upon request cannot be denied. I know that when I have done something wrong and have intentionally or unintentionally hurt someone, I must ask for their forgiveness. When doing some, I must be sincere and always think about how I've hurt someone and how I would feel. When I think an eye for an eye, it makes me think about treating others as you want to be treated. There should be a sense of fairness between all of us that says, I will treat you with the same way you treat me. It makes me think of kids at school who bully other kids. I wonder if that is how they want to be treated. Small-minded people put down other people as they think it makes them feel better about themselves. It doesn't. The Torah teaches us that a person's cost does not have meaning. No eye of one person is worth more than of another person. According to God, we are all equal with no rank and no privilege. Today in the news, it is hard to escape that some people feel that their tooth is worth more. I've never understood why this is. My parents have taught me that everyone should be treated equally as everyone has their own story. We simply should not judge them. Israeli interpreter Nechama Lebowitz states that a person is not a master of his or her body, but God, to whom belongs both soul and body, is master of them. No person has the right to inflict harm on another person's body or upon his own. Honoring the body is to honor God. This reminds me that I need to take care of myself. I need to always make sure that my body is strong and that my mind is stronger. I know that sometimes this is a struggle for me. I guess Madden 21 isn't helping me. It is something for me to always be working on. No one can honor the body that God gave me but myself. Speaking of showing honor, let's get down to some serious thank yous. Mom and Dad, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you. Literally and figuratively. You helped by starting me on my path to being a bar mitzvah since I was in preschool. Your belief and encouragement of me has helped in every part of my life to make me the person I am today. Thank you. Ben. Although I will never tell you this, you really are the best brother I could ask for. I know as your little brother, I know I annoy you at times. Just know, I do it on purpose. I love you. Grammy, Nana, and Papa, your unconditional love and support means the world to me. I'm beyond lucky to have you all living so close by. I know if I ever need anything, you're here for me. I love you. To my Hebrew school teachers, Lori Berman, Dina Lerner, Robin Rosenblum, Cantor Wendy, Cantor Seth, Jason Bronowitz, and mentor Mark Lerner, I couldn't have done it without you. It truly is a team effort. Thank you all so much. Lastly, to my family and friends here in the sanctuary and watching at home, it means so much to have you here to be part of my special day. While it is not the way I imagined my bar mitzvah, I wouldn't want it any other way. As I think about the last 6 years of studying for today, I realize that being a bar mitzvah is not just about reading the Torah today. It has been all of the little steps I took to achieve this big step. I had a goal and had to work hard to achieve it. From the fun times in Hebrew class with Dylan and Kaya, to me not wanting to study one last prayer. I am proud of the time and dedication I have put into making this day so special. Thank you all so much. Shabbat Shalom.
So, my friend, we're going to have your parents come now and share some thoughts and words with you before we get the opportunity of blessing you in front of the ark. So I'd like to call your mom and your dad. Well, I don't need to. They're already here. Here they are. Let me clean up the area up here, straighten out for you guys. And why don't you guys come? Do you want me to keep this up here? Sure. Okay, great. And then you can just speak into the mic. Take your time. God bless you.
Matthew, your father and I are so proud of you today. Not that we aren't proud of you every day, yet the hard work, dedication, and commitment to becoming a bar mitzvah is something to truly celebrate. March 18th, 2008, the day Matthew Weston Rush was supposed to join our family. Except you had your own ideas. March 17th, 2008, the unplanned date you arrived. Unplanned. You know that's Mom's least favorite word. We should have known at that point that you would be strong-willed and always want to do it your way. Right? Yeah. Your Torah portion spoke with lex talionis and what an eye for an eye meant. As you pointed out, it really is about how you treat people. Are you treating them the way you want to be treated? No eye from one person is worth more than that of another person. Be the person that they can depend on and always have their backs. The world is challenging and will always test you. Matt, use your strength and stand above it all. The true measure of a man is not how you treat your friends, but how you treat the strangers you meet. Well, Amor also talked about the rules for Jewish celebrations. We want to always remember the traditions that our family has created. These are memories that will last you a lifetime and can be handed down to your children and grandchildren.
Hey, bud. When Ben was bar mitzvahed, I thought it was cool to use the Torah cover that I had used for my bar mitzvah. It was your Uncle Stuart who pointed out that he also carried the same Torah cover and told me how special that was to him. Shit. Oh, say that loud. Damn microphone. That's me as it gets, right? Okay. The Torah covering has been carried by your uncle, your father, your brother, and now you for your bar mitzvah. Don't ever take for granted the special moments that occur in life. Sometimes the speed of life passes so quickly. Appreciate all the little things, as they are likely the big things. Although not here today, I know your uncle is very proud of you.
When you were 2 years old, Ben came into our bedroom and said, "There are 2 policemen out the door." They said they were responding to a 911 hang-up call. 911. We certainly did not call 911. But then you were holding the phone with the biggest smile on your face. Sure, enough you managed to make the call. It was at that point we decided that we really didn't need our home phone anymore. Always keep your mischievous side. It is what gives you energy. Stay passionate about the things you love. Cooking, thanks Food Network. Wrestling, long live WWE. Madden, 21, or whatever is next. Sometimes the world sometimes the world wants to take those things away from you. Don't ever let it. Your imagination is one of the things that truly sets you apart. It is a rare gift. Remember to nurture it and keep it, allowing it to grow. Always live your life by actions and not just words. Matthew Weston Rush. You have so much to offer this world. You are kind, thoughtful, funny, devilish, and very smart. Always stay true to yourself and your values. Stay committed to what you believe in. We are beyond excited to see where life takes you. We are truly the lucky ones. Mazel tov. I love you so much.
I'm giving you a hug because you brought him in so perfectly. Come on, give me some love. Oh, this boy. Thank you. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. It was so beautiful. And it's so weird. Your cousin with the hair was, I don't know, a month old when I came. 2 months old, something like that. You look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Except you have hair. And you had just a little fuzz then. But thank you for bringing your precious brother into the room. He's been with us this whole time, but I'm just so glad that you said that. Pained that you had to, but in seeing you guys, I think you were here the first couple, 3 Shabbat Tov that I was here when you were the aforementioned itty bitty, but we're here, and the family is together in spirit and in presence. So, my friends, we are going to be even luckier now because we get to, as we return the Torah to the Aron HaKodesh, we get to bless you and say a few things about you, as if what your parents said was not enough, but no rabbi would lose an opportunity to speak, especially on a day like today, to the narrator par excellence of Megillat Esther. so who happened to become a bar mitzvah today as well. So everyone here, we're going to return the Torah to the Aron HaKodesh. We're going to actually, if he behaves himself, invite your brother and your parents back up to the bima, because they're going to sort of encircle you with their love as we return the Torah to the Holy Ark and ask for God's blessings upon our bar mitzvah kid. Everyone at home and here, turn to page 374 or 256, as again we return the Torah to the Aron HaKodesh. And Ben and you guys, come on up.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. הודו על ארץ ושמיים, וירם קרן לימו, תהילה לכל חסידיו. לבני ישראל עם קרובו, הללויה, הללויה. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכיך מאושר. דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיך שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם.
So, Matt, it is really, really an honor for us to be here with you. We are the ones who should be thanking you. It was very sweet that you thanked so many of us, but we want to thank you for enabling us to be part of this very special day, and really for being part of your life. The Torah portion, which your parents spoke about beautifully and you spoke about beautifully, brings together a lot of these concepts of what it means to be holy, kadosh. And we think about kiddush, blessing the wine, sanctifying it. We think about all of the blessings that say asher kiddishanu, God who gives us these moments of holiness or gives us moments of sanctification, and you provided that for us, and we are so, so grateful to you. You are definitely a mensch. You are the kind of kid that we enjoy hanging out with, for all the reasons that your parents shared, but really because you are who you are. You're comfortable in your skin, and you have a good blend of humility and confidence. And a mensch isn't someone who's just always humble and always self-deprecating or always, but a mensch is someone who has that balance between confidence and humility. And it's funny because I said to your brother at his bar mitzvah, you know, when I go up to camp in the summer, Ben's always like ready to greet me. Hey, Rabbi Kahn, what's going on? He's doing the schmooze. But you, I know, but you're the one who kind of seeks me out. Like, I think sometimes like someone, Ethan or someone says, my dad's coming, and you're kind of like looking for me. And you always seem to walk down from the upper quad or somewhere. And whereas I bump into your brother, I feel like you come and look for me, like you're excited that Ethan's dad is here. But I think that's really about you. You are always watchful over others. You're always not just observing what they're doing, but engaging them before they even know it's the time or place to engage. And what I mean by that is you have a really strong intuition, a really strong kind of inner moral compass and inner insight into what needs to be done, what needs to be said. And it's funny, I said to you yesterday also regarding your brother, he may be president one day, but you're going to be the guy who's running the campaign, right? Because you're the one who will know who he should be talking to. He'll just be sort of hanging out ready to schmooze, but you're going to be directing the operation, right? You're also incredibly funny. You've got a wonderful soul that shines through. And it does not take very long for you to creep into our hearts and really become such a precious part of our lives. What I pray for you and hope for you today is that you continue to go through life knowing that there will be times when you stumble, times when you fall, times when you make mistakes, but knowing what I know you know so well, which is you will always be able to get back up on your feet. You will always be able to get to the other side of any challenge. And the reason why isn't just because you're a great kid. And you're a mensch, and you're an old soul, and you're all that stuff. The reason why is because I think you fundamentally understand what life is about at such a young age. You know that life is about fun, but also meaning. You know that life is about chilling out with your friends and having a good time, but it's also about relationships and cultivating them, like having real friendships with kids who are capable of it. You know that life is about enjoying family, but you also know that you have a very fundamental role in your family. Mostly, my prayer for you is that you continue throughout your growth spiritually, physically, mentally, to have that sweetness that is you. That sweetness that is Matt, that makes us smile. I know in my heart that you're always going to be the one who helps make us smile. But that you know and you realize on this day of your bar mitzvah moving forward that you've got tremendous strength and power that a lot of people will use to nourish their own souls. And also to know that you're entitled to take care of yourself and enjoy your life. Keep enjoying your life. Keep engaging in your life. Keep setting the example that you set for all of us, and keep being you. That's all we need in this world. And that's my prayer for you, is to be you. And it's my pleasure now to ask for the cantor to join with me to ask for God's blessings upon you. I do so on behalf of Rabbi Mason-Barkin. And I'm thinking very much about Rabbi Plotkin, a blessed memory today, for he used to say all the time when he walked down the hallway, Hineni, I am here. And I think about that because Hineni, you are here. You're the one who is present fully in this moment. So be present. And we do this on behalf of Rabbi Plotkin as well, who's such a part of your family story. Okay?
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's countenance be lifted upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
May God's face always shine upon yours and grant you peace all the days of your life.
Ve'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
Amen.
Amen.
Siman tov und mazel tov,
mazel tov, siman tov und mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov und mazel tov, siman tov, yehelanu. Siman tov und mazel tov, siman tov und mazel tov, siman tov und mazel tov, siman tov, yehelanu.
So just in case you all did not know, the clergy team and some members of the bar mitzvah family are wearing some very important socks today. My socks, which I think are the best of all of them.
Oh.
I've got the Hulk Hogan socks, the Hulkster. So at the end of the service, I'll be ripping my shirt off and throwing it out to the crowd.
And who can smell what the Rock is cooking?
There you go. Cantor's got the
here.
Rock. So stay after. We're going to do a little family pick of all of our WWE socks. All right, you're done.
I am.
Please to be seated. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Come back up. This is your bar mitzvah certificate, signed by everybody before the service. It's your coupon for Camp Stein and coupon for the big trip Israel. Take some money off. Trees been planted in Israel. And your B'nai Tzedek Fund has been set up at the Jewish Community Foundation of Greater Phoenix. Say that 10 times fast.
I'm good.
We also have, I left it over here. Don't move. In honor of your becoming a bar mitzvah, our board of directors presents you with your Torah with today's date and your name, and your Kiddush cup. It would not be a bar mitzvah without the Torah in Lucite and the Kiddush cup. And on behalf of your mentor, Mark Lerner, I now officially present to you, you can take the stickers out if you'd like, your prayer book. I always know Mark Lerner is I always know that Mark Lerner is the mentor when the perfectly arranged stickers that are of equal height, that is to say, the margin on the sticker to page is equal for each sticker. That's how you know it's Mark Lerner. And if he's watching, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So that is your Siddur. And those are all your goodies. You get a whole swag bag. Thank you. Yay. All right, we'll go put these over here, and then you can take them with you on your way out. And now you can have a seat. Just temporarily. Mazel tov again to all of you, to the Greater Rush family. Let's only share simchas together in the future, please. We are going to now conclude with Aleinu and with, did I forget anything? Nope. Oh, goody. Oh, your book. And yes, let's continue now with Aleinu and with Kaddish. Aleinu can be found in your prayer books on page 598. Or,
586.
I'm sorry, 586 or 282, and together please stand. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol latet
ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
On this Shabbat, we share our deepest sympathies as we note the passing of the following individuals who were recently laid to their eternal rest and whose families observe Shiva and Shloshim, the immediate 7 and 30 days of mourning. Lorraine Greenberg, Bill Seidenberg, Gail Avance, Thelma Gross, Hilda Goodman, Audrey Laufman. And on this Shabbat, remember those of our congregational family whose yahrzeits occurred this week. Their names are lovingly listed in our Shabbat flyer. And if anyone here or at home would like to say or type in the name of a loved one at this time he would like us to take into our hearts with our own, please say their name at this time.
Stuart Rush.
Zichronam levracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing, lador v'dor, for the generations to come. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 598 in your prayer books, or 294. Yitkadal v'yitkada shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach urutei v'yamlich machutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'le'almei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to those who are grieving. Together we say, amen.
Amen.
Cantor will lead us in our concluding song, and then we will say Kiddush and Hamotzi together.
Bringing our thoughts up to Camp Stein.
Woohoo!
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Matt's got the Kiddush cup. Let's bless the wine.
Let's get ready to Kiddush.
Hang on.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafei.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Take a sip.
You know I want wine.
I know, right? And Hamotzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Thank you for
shalom.
joining us.
Let's get ready to Shabbos.
You want to take a bite?
Yeah, why not?
Why don't you rip some off, and then I'll give you the rest. You can take it on the plane.
Sounds fun.
How's that?